Chapter 258. The doubters take counsel. The wise and profound love speech of the one doubter who, at the bosom of the poor man, recognizes the Father. 20th February, 1843. These words of the Lord confounded our unbelievers considerably, and each took counsel with his neighbour as to how to take the words of the poor man, saying, "Is he in earnest to be taken for the truly sublime, supreme being? Or shall one question him further as to his nature? Should he actually be what he claims to be, and what the king proclaimed him to be so positively from the throne? He could really give us a sign by which we would be compelled to recognize him definitely and without any doubt. As far as the wisdom of his speech is concerned, it is for our understanding exceedingly high and sublime. But if we let another from the height speak, it will be exactly the same case. For they, too, will talk so that we shall not comprehend too much of their speech. One of the company said to those taking counsel, "Brothers, listen, I have just hit upon a marvelous idea. What shall we do? What is to be done? What do we want to learn? Look, this is what our whole deliberation is about. But I have just had a good idea. We want from this man a sign so that we might believe him to be in truth the one the king proclaimed him to be. Let us ask ourselves what sign the great Pharik gave us as proof for the truth of his teaching. As far as I know, none other but the sublime teaching itself. And still we believed in his teaching, not pondering how far it might be true or untrue. How come we demand here a sign for the affirmation of our faith, in order to exchange it for the incomprehensible in Pharik's teaching, in preference to the comprehensible in the teaching of this man, who does not even demand faith, but only says with gentle, though infinitely wise words, 'Do not believe me, but love me as the sole true Father, and the flame of love will become for you a bright beacon, and you will then most clearly see in your hearts whether I am what Lamech proclaimed me to be before you.' What more do we want? I know only too well that two people recognize each other only once they begin to fully love each other as true brothers, and thus as very close friends. Who can recognize a woman unless he loves her and she loves him? In truth, he who would declare and say, 'Owing to my bright intellect, I understand my fellow man, and the cunning of women lies open before me,' to him I say that he is a great liar. However, since we realize that we have never failed, and never shall fail, with our love for our brothers and sisters, I truly cannot see why we should fail with our love for God. And as concerns this poor man, I must openly admit, I already love him beyond measure. For a man with such wisdom cannot ever be poor. And if he himself, coerced through his love, gave away all he had, who should not love such love in return? I reckon he is a most loving, wise man, a glorious brother. Yes, he is a man full of brotherly and the most sublime, true fatherly love. Thus we shall love him as what we recognize him. To judge whether he is or is not God as such lies now still beyond our sphere of capability. However, it lies in his whole being and in his every word that he harbours something truly divine. And so I want to be the first to approach him with a flaming heart. Here, this speaker stepped up to the Lord and said to him, "Most beloved brother, full of divine wisdom and the truest fatherly love, whoever and whatever you may be, I love you, having found you most worthy of all love, and I know only too well that with such a truest love one cannot fail with you." Here he embraced the Lord and pressed him to his heart. And the Lord said to him, "Now you have embraced life eternal. Let your love become a bright light for you. Amen." Here the speaker began to sigh and said to his brothers, "Do come here, come here. O brothers, verily, verily, here is more than just a man. Here is truly the Father,